Hello, welcome once again on RTSW-TV. Today, we have the honor to welcome an important guest into our studio. So, with me, I have Miss Vanessa, who is the co-founder of YIDA, co-founder of African Authentic Work. Vanessa, welcome into our studio.
Thank you.
Mm. So, Vanessa, let me start like this. Who are you? How would you describe yourself?
Um, I think that is a question that I've struggled describing. However, my name is Vanessa Ishimwe. I am from Chakatu Refugee Settlement, and how should I call myself? I'm an entrepreneur. I am a founder of businesses, and I consider myself one of the very, very determined human beings to change situations within my community and for myself and in my family. So yes, that's me.
That's you. Oh, thank you so much. And do you think you are making an impact, like the impact is being seen in the community?
Yeah, I think there is evidence for my contribution towards the change of my community. You can literally just Google my name and you find the work that I'm doing within the refugee setting. I did not mention that I'm a refugee that lives in Chakatu refugee settlement as
Yeah.
well. So my community is of it's a refugee community, and the impact of my work can clearly be seen from the people that we serve, the students that we educate, the women that we train on how to make sandals and a living. So yeah.
Okay, so all this is being done through YIDA and African Authentic Work. So, talking about YIDA, how did the idea of founding or creating YIDA, like how did it come?
Um, I think I will say a little bit about how the organization was started, how it was created. And it was mainly an idea that was brought by um, by two colleagues that went to the same school together.
Yes.
One being James Ntaguti and the other one being Baraka. Baraka is in Australia. He's been resettled. James is currently with us and is the current CEO of the organization. And James used to teach English to adults and
Yes.
within the community that he lived in, which is Expressway, and they kept asking him to have a school or an opportunity to give an education, to give the same lessons to their children, to the people's children,
Yes.
and that is how he started, uh, I guess, collecting people to join him to come up with a school that can teach children English, but also it evolved into becoming a school that provides quality education. I joined in to join forces, I guess, with my love for my community and for change, I guess, for creating impact is what I guess attracted me to be part of this cause or this movement to try and educate the community that we're living in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, if I got you well, Yida started as as one person was teaching English to adults, and then it became a school for kids. Uh, is that the only thing that Yida does?
No, so YIDA currently runs three major three major activities. One being the school or providing quality education. The other one being entrepreneurship, providing entrepreneurship training. And then the other one is bringing financial services closer to the refugee settlement and the people in the host community in rural areas. Um, the school is not only under the education that under providing quality education. The school isn't the only thing that we have, but we also have linkages to scholarships for secondary students and university students. We do, I guess, scholarship preparedness for university students, and we also link secondary school students to scholarships to go and study in different schools that we partner with.
Oh, thank you so much. As you heard, she told you about how YIDA came about. Mm, and I think after a small break, we are going to find out more about Miss Vanessa.
Let's Help International is a non-profit organization that advocates for the physical, cognitive, and social development of vulnerable children, youth, and families, as well as orphans, refugees, and other people in need mostly. And our areas of intervention are digital inclusion, livelihood, and protection. Let's Help International has achieved a lot so far as digital inclusion is concerned. And I'd like to tell you some of the achievements that we've done so far as Let's Help International. We have been engaged in ongoing efforts and commitments to promote digital inclusion worldwide. Efforts have been done with our sister agencies, chakatu.com and RTSW-Refugees TV, in order to connect refugees in the host community to online opportunities.
Welcome once again in the studio. You're still avec William and our guest Vanessa. Vanessa, I would like us to talk a bit more about your background. How did you come to Chaka? Where did you go to school? What are the challenges you faced in your early childhood?
Um, as a child, did I even have challenges? I don't think I had so many challenges growing up as a child. I think I keep referring to my childhood as one of the best childhoods that anybody could ask for. I went to very good schools, um, and at that point, both my parents were alive. And then in 2008 or 2009, um, we moved to Uganda, and we settled
Let's
in
Help
Kampala.
International is a non-profit organization that advocates for the physical, cognitive, and social development of vulnerable children, youth, and families, as well as orphans, refugees, and other people in need mostly. And our areas of intervention are digital inclusion, livelihood, and protection. We, as Let's Help International, we also had an opportunity, a very wonderful opportunity that was offered to us by the UNHCR. It organized a digital gender inclusion and innovation bootcamp, whereby we learned a lot of things. And we've also engaged and participated in many ICT trainings. And thus far, we have very skilled ICT trainers who can train refugees as well as host community, so that they can also be part and parcel of this digital.
Yeah, my name is Gilbert. On behalf of RTSW, we decided to teach people how to use their smartphones instead of computers, because not everyone has access on computers. So we will teach you so many things in using your smartphones, especially in communication, to do online conferences, to update your applications when they are expired. We teach you so many things, how to write documents using your telephones, your smartphones. So tell a friend to subscribe on our channel, so that in the future you don't miss the next lesson. Thank you.
Let's Help International is a non-profit organization that advocates for the physical, cognitive, and social development of vulnerable children, youth, and families, as well as orphans, refugees, and other people in need mostly. And our areas of intervention are digital inclusion, livelihood, and protection. Let's Help International has achieved a lot so far as digital inclusion is concerned. And I'd like to tell you some of the achievements that we've done so far as Let's Help International. We have been engaged in ongoing efforts and commitments to promote digital inclusion worldwide. Efforts have been done with our sister agencies, chakatu.com and RTSW-Refugees TV, in order to connect refugees in the host community to online opportunities. We, as Let's Help International, we also had an opportunity, a very wonderful opportunity that was offered to us by the UNHCR. It organized a digital gender inclusion and innovation bootcamp, whereby we learned a lot of things. And we've also engaged and participated in many ICT trainings. And thus far, we have very skilled ICT trainers who can train refugees as well as host community, so that they can also be part and parcel of this. Let's Help International has achieved a lot so far as digital inclusion is concerned. And I'd like to tell you some of the achievements that we've done so far as Let's Help International. We have been engaged in ongoing efforts and commitments to promote digital inclusion worldwide. Efforts have been done with our sister agencies, chakatu.com and RTSW-Refugees TV, in order to connect refugees in the host community to online opportunities.
name is Gilbert. On behalf of RTSW, we decided to teach people how to use their smartphones instead of computers because not everyone has access on computers. So we will teach you so many things in using your smartphones, especially in communication, to do online conferences, to update your applications when they are expired. We teach you so many things, how to write documents using your telephones, your smartphones. So tell a friend to subscribe on our channel so that in the future you don't miss the next lesson. Thank you.
Welcome once again into the studio. We are welcoming you once again. Sorry for that network issue. Vanessa was telling us about how they came here in Uganda, and I think they started as urban refugees. You can proceed from there, please.
Yeah, so we lived in Kampala for a bit in 2000, it's April 2009 or 2008, I don't remember very well, 2008 September. And we lived in Kampala for a bit, but of course, as a foreigner or as a refugee, life becomes hard, especially when you don't have anything to do and the work at that time wasn't very available, especially for my mom because she was the only adult who were with. The rest of the siblings were still young and teenagers, and I think I was 13 at the so we then moved to the refugee settlement, I think 2 years into 2010 or between 2010 and 2011. That's when we moved to Jakarta refugee settlement. And there is a way when you become a refugee for the first time, it has like a like when you have a new place that you have to be in, the fact that you're just in a place without your culture.
Let's Help International is a non-profit organization that advocates for the physical, cognitive, and social development of vulnerable children, youth, and families, as well as orphans, refugees, and other people in need mostly. And our areas of intervention are digital inclusion, livelihood, and protection. Let's Help International. Let's Help International has achieved a lot so far as digital inclusion is concerned. And I'd like to tell you some of the achievements. that we've done so far as Let's Help International. We have been engaged in ongoing efforts and commitments to promote digital inclusion worldwide. Efforts have been done with our sister agencies, chakatu.com and RTSW-Refugees TV, in order to connect refugees. We, as Let's Help International, we also had an opportunity, a very wonderful opportunity that was offered to us by the UNHCR. It organized a digital gender inclusion and innovation bootcamp, whereby we learned a lot of things. And so far we've also engaged and participated in many ICT trainings. And thus far, we have very skilled ICT trainers who can train.
Welcome once again. We are facing a small issue of network, but I think the problem has been resolved, so we can go on with our show. So, Vanessa, I think the question was when you came here in Chaka, when you reached, did you immediately go to school or you took some time off?
I think I did not go immediately to school. I was studying at first in Kampala again. When we reached Uganda, I immediately went to school. But after some time, it was hard to keep up with the school fees and all that. And when we came to Chaka, I did not go immediately to school. So I took some time not to adjust, but I took some time because I couldn't pay.
So you couldn't like afford school fees at that time. So how did it change? How did you manage to go back to school and finish?
So my mother worked very, very hard to make sure that I went to school for at least the first 4 years of secondary. When we came out, I was already in second year, I was in senior one, and she tirelessly worked, and I was in and out of school several times because of school fees. But I ended up finishing senior four in 2012. Not with my colors, unfortunately, but I did finish. And for me to be able, from 2012 to about 2016,
Yeah.
I wasn't in school. I was just home because, again, I couldn't afford going to A level, and I didn't have the best marks so that I could get maybe a scholarship. So whatever scholarship would come, would just go because I don't have enough marks until somebody, I guess, saw my talent and the work that I was doing in the community as a leader, especially the work that I was doing with YIDA. And like the past or the people that saw my potential were from Cornerstone Leadership Academy, the school that I went to.
Yes.
Then they invited me and the other people to go on the interviews and so that they can give us a scholarship to go to senior 5 and senior 6. And that's how I ended up finishing my secondary school. And from that time, I think I've started on scholarships from senior 5 up to the time I finished, so I graduated
In university. Oh, so if I heard you well, YIDA started operating before 2016.
Yes.
Of course, that's when the people from Cornerstone saw you and saw your talent, saw your dedication in the community, and decided to give you an opportunity to go and study into their school. Let me before that, before going to Cornerstone or before getting that scholarship, did you ever imagine or did you, let me say, lose hope of finishing high school?
I mean, between 2012 And 2016, I had no idea what was going to be, what my life was going to be like. I didn't know, um, I guess, where to work, how to earn a living. I remember so many times looking for work to do, and nobody could hire me. One, because I was just from Singapore, I was still young, and also because I didn't have like any special skill anyway. Um, so I did lose hope at some point, thinking, what is my life going to be like if I don't go to school? I remember telling my mom after senior, I mean, like when the year, when senior fives had to go back to school, and I was like, hey, I think I should go back to school. And then she looked at me and she said, no, I don't think you're going to be able to go to school because I don't have enough money to pay for you. So I remember, I think that story or that conversation has stuck with me because it was both sad for me and her, but I'm pretty sure it was even more sad for her because she wants, any parents want what good for their children. So we both, or all of us, lost hope and started looking for things to do. I even became a maid at some point, and it was just sort of, you know, things to do with trying to survive. Yeah.
Wow. Mm. As you all heard, life isn't always easy. Mm. We go through a lot of struggles. As Vanessa just said, she spent around 4 years without going to school. She didn't know whether she would go to school and finish. Uh, she even said that at one point in her life, she became a maid. So, looking back at that memory, looking back at how YIDA started, what would you like describe the outcome or the way YIDA looks like now, like from back then, 2016 to 2023? What word best describes that evolution?
Actually, we just started in 2013. So that is how many years before 2016?
That is
3 years
3 years.
before
Wow.
2016. But during that time, the foundation again was still very shaky. We barely had um, money to pay employees, we barely had any money to construct. We did all the things by ourselves. A lot of people came to volunteer with us, a lot of young people joined us to come and try and build the school so that we can work in the community. We had so many projects that we wanted to do. We had a salon, we had a tree planting, we had a garden that we were digging to try and figure out what can bring income, both to sustain the school but also to sustain the people that were members of the organization. So when I look back to 2013, 2016, actually in 2016 I remember, no, it is in 2017 when I was in senior six when we first opened our first bank account. I remember getting out of Cornerstone, wearing my uniform and going to the bank with my head shaved, looking like a 16-year-old, and going to the bank and opening a bank account. And never in my wildest dream did I ever think that it would become what it is right now. Being able to employ over 60 people, people that are working full time. It's not that they're part timers. It's like 60 people working full time on the payroll for the entire year. And we came from a place where we couldn't even pay one person 10,000 to 5,000, or even buy water, or even buy food, or even buy chalk,
Wow.
to be able to write in the blackboards for the children to be able to learn. But right now we have 500 students within our schools, both the kindergarten and the primary school. We have over 60 employees. Some are teachers, some are support staff, some are in the administration, and I think we like
Wow. Wow. Guys, me who is here with you interviewing Vanessa, I think I'm even lucky to have seen YIDA back in 2017, how it started. Like when I look at the school, how it was, and how the school looks like, and how their financial business is doing right now, you can't imagine how far these people have come. Now, getting back to Vanessa, sorry. Uh, Now, as a female, you know, young, and then a leader, working with men, did you find it hard at the beginning? Did you struggle?
Um, I'm asked this question often, and I have to sort of try and think of a time where I struggled because I was a woman. Um, I think one, I can't minimize the struggles of being a woman and being a leader and trying to do something. However, I think I was very much focused on what I need to support my community or to implement things that we were implementing than I was focused on what is stopping me. Really, I know there are times when you're dismissed as a woman, you're told, "Oh, you maybe shouldn't be here, shouldn't be constructing." I, I feel so that I lost the photos where I was in cooperative trying to, construct the school, the first building that we had, um, and how surprising it was for very many men because you find that if you have like 5 men, I'm the only woman, or you have like 10 men and we are only 2 ladies and I am the consistent one. But I would say it's challenging because, of course, your family, your parents will take you to what and you get spoiled. Why you need all these men? Are you, especially since it wasn't yielding anything other than being paid to do what I was doing, and also I guess working with a diverse group of people from different cultures where women don't live or where women don't construct or where women don't, um, you know, where women are not like diversified. Yeah, it becomes hard. They throw comments here and there, but all those weren't really enough reason for me to ever feel like I'm stopping because somebody's saying that I'm a woman, I can't do it.
Yeah. So you never stopped. You never felt like giving up, or you never actually gave up. And if you did, what brought you back? If you did give up. Sorry, at one point, what made you come back?
I think the hardest bit of uh, trying to run an organization on very, very, very limited resources is the resources part. The part where you're like, I have to feed my family, I have to feed myself, I have to, cater financially for things. Everybody needs that. And for very many years, for about I think 8 years or even more, um, and we did that work. Not only me, but everybody did that work. Okay, most of the people that were um, in the team, in the founding members team, uh, faced a similar, circumstance. And at some point, I was like, I don't think this is going to be, this life is going to be possible for me. I guess I'm trying to build my community, I'm trying to support my community, I'm trying to create impact, but who is caring for me? How do I buy food? How do I survive as a human being? You know, um, but I think looking at the very small successes that we kept and the very small steps that we kept having in the right direction, and every year will be different. I think from 2013, 2014 wasn't the same, 2015 wasn't the same, 2016 wasn't the same. Um, all those years weren't the same, and there was something positive that was coming out every year, and I could see that we are growing. Although it was very, very painful and hard to go through um, that process and reminding myself that we were here, now we are here, and we will be even higher at some point. But that's what kept me hopeful, seeing where we were and seeing how much we have progressed and seeing what we can be in the future, especially since I was putting in the work and the rest of the team was putting in the work. Yeah.
Wow, that's quite a story. Uh, do you feel like as an organization, not as Vanessa, that you've done it, or do you feel like you still have more to give to this community, and you still have to grow more in this community?
As an organization, and I think many people haven't, apart from people who have seen us, I guess, grow, um, but many people have only gotten to learn, especially within this community, have only gotten to learn about YIDA a few years back, like 3 or 4 years. Um, but we've been here for almost 10 years now, and actually 10 years. We should
Yeah, we are.
celebrate 10
Yeah.
years. So, but I think we haven't yet uh, created the I don't know the image or the impact that we so much want to create. We've done something. I can minimize what we have achieved a lot over the years, but I don't think we are right where we want to be, and we hope to impact that we have right in the next 5 years, maybe, or in the next 10 years. Hopefully, we'll be educating more than 2,000 or 5,000 refugee children in primary, and we'll have a full primary school because we have only after primary for right now. And we'll be training youths to start businesses, and we hope to see that the youth that we've trained to start businesses this year have
Yes.
businesses that are also employing other youths.
Mm.
So, have we accomplished something? Yes. Are we right where we want to be? Probably not. We want to do more. We want to go further while we're still young, or while we're still able to say that we are young. And by the time maybe we're old and tired, and we can look back and say, we did that as an organization. The organization is mainly run by young people, so hopefully everybody shares in this region. Yeah.
Wow. In her own words, that is 10 years, a decade that YIDA has been operating in Chaka, that YIDA has been transforming lives, has been changing lives to the better. YIDA has been giving work opportunity to young refugees in the settlement. It has been giving education to kids, to children in the community. Let's take a small break and talk about something else. Talk about, let me say, authentic African work. But before we take a break, you can see in your screens, that is, I think, the website of YIDA. So you can check and you can visit. I think after the break, she'll give you the website link, and then you guys can go and check. So let's take a break and come back. Okay. Welcome once again. You guys who are following us, you guys who are watching us on YouTube, you can be able to drop a comment, and we, or Vanessa, sorry, should be able to answer your questions. So, talking about, as I said, authentic African work. So we've talked a bit about YIDA. So let's talk about authentic African work. What is authentic African work? What do you guys do? How did the idea came to life?
So, authentic African Thoughts is, um, should I call it a business or an organization that makes, let me say, the leverage skills, and the informal skills to or the professional skills
Mm.
to create quality weather products
Mm.
um, to sell to the local markets and international markets that
Mm.
in the future as we are taking steps to do that. The idea was to, and still is,
Mm.
to skill women, young women, to be able to make different fashion accessories or fashion products like shoes, bags, belts, wallets. Currently, we are only making sandals as one of the very first products that we started with to test the market and to be able to, I guess, grow from that, also considering the very limited resources. The idea is for us to be able to, make products, but also skill young people, young women especially, so that they're able to, earn a living from that lifelong skill. Um, yeah, I run business with a friend of mine called Josephine.
Yeah.
She is 24/7 doing production, but also training um, the young women on how to do it. How it started, I was trying to remember what you asked. But how it started was when I went to school with Josephine in 2016 to 2017, when we both went to Cornerstone Leadership Academy. And after 2017, after I finished secondary, we had two programs, fortunately, that were brought by a partner that Cornerstone Leadership Academy. To take one would take girls to go and make leather products, shoes, bags, even other, clothing and other accessories. And there would be also another program that would take girls to create a sort of like a project within their community that would impact their community. So I took the part where I was going to go into something to create a project that would impact my community. And then Josephine went to the organization of the company that made leather products. So she learned from there to make the leather products. I would go to visit her and other friends of mine that we went to school together every once in a while, and I got inspired by the vision. The company is called Circle Designs, and Circle Designs would have this program where they take those girls, they work from there, they earn a living from doing what they were doing, but also they would give them a scholarship at the end of the 9 months of the long holiday from the vacation after senior citizen.
Yeah.
So from that, to finance the skill and from visiting her and also inquiring from her, I also learned how to make the sandals. And then I thought, hey, this company, Circle Designs, is doing this amazing work, but I think it is only having, it is only supporting these people. And there isn't so many companies like that. And within my community, where I come from, like the refugee community, where to have a job like this as a refugee is very hard. I think we could leverage this opportunity of having these skills, transfer them within the refugee community, support young people, to learn this skill and to have like a skill that can help them sustain themselves financially for life. Yeah. While also making very amazing leather products.
I guess you also some pictures of the sandals that are being made by authentic African work. She told us she's working with a friend called Josephine. Is your friend also a refugee?
No, Josephine is a Ugandan national. She's been my friend since I guess the very first day we met at school during the COVID. And I think our friendship or our working together embodies how easily or how integration is happening for Indians and nationals. And the fact that it can be possible. I Josephine is typically a arranged, organized person, while I'm an entrepreneur who is like all over the place. But the combination of these two things, regardless of whether she's a national and a refugee, is what has made the business stand. Yeah.
So, like in most cases, you said you are disorganized, something like that. So she's the one that, after you giving maybe the ideas, she puts them together, she arranges them. So you guys sit and like you complement each other in that way.
Yeah, I think anything needs, I guess, everyone has their own strengths, and if the strengths complement themselves by each other, it's possible for anything to really grow. So she is very like the kind of person that plans. It's like they're going to do A, B, C, D, and that's what they're going. As for me, I'll wake up one morning and I want to do X, and that's exactly what we. And if we do not do X, then tomorrow it will be Y that I want to do. So it's I have I guess a mind that flies around, but I'm very creative also in being in that way. I'm an entrepreneur. I consider myself an entrepreneur, and I also know things to do with business and models and marketing and sales and what requires for a business to grow. And since I started Authentic African works after having the experience of working through the growth of YIDA, I guess it's like it helps me, get the lessons that I learned from leader to running the African.
Okay. You said the goal is to provide those sandals to customers locally and globally. So locally, how do you think authentic African work is doing? And now about the global aspect of it, how are you guys planning to reach the outside market?
Locally, I think we're doing fairly well. Not so great. We are not where we want to be. We are not even close to where we really want to be. We've been, I think, in 2018 when we were starting our business. We, when I was in school, I joined school in 2019, university.
Yes.
We kept doing, making the sandals and selling them one by one, and it wasn't going so good. But um, but we were hoping, and we were hopeful, of course. This year, I can see progress. We sold more than we have sold in those past 3, 4, 5 years, or 4 years now. Um, and we hope to, I guess, expand to international markets once we feel like the local market has fully embraced our products, or we have like a steady, um, how they call it, market share. We haven't yet figured out so many things around what is our market share, how how do we collect the reaction, the feedback from the customers, and have we collected enough feedback for us to say, now that we think that this works here, then we can also transport it to another place. Venturing into markets outside the country is pretty expensive, so we still taking it slow and trying to.
Okay. Still on that local part of it, how do you guys sell your product? And then, secondly, how? Uh, the first question was how do you sell locally? And how is this community that you are living in is buying into your business?
So locally we have a workshop in, where we make the sandals from, and we sell mostly online using all the social media platforms. We do a lot of marketing on social media, on our WhatsApp, statuses on our Instagram, or Twitter, a lot of tweets, and a lot of Facebook posts, and we've mostly sold around that online. But recently, when we opened the workshop, of course, when we shifted from being at school and doing it while at school, we moved to Shaka to start a workshop. And I was surprised that most of the sales that were made last month or the past few months have been from the local community. I mean, the local community in Chaka, the local community in Uganda. And that means that people are seeing us story by story. And it also means that I guess a business can grow if you pursue and if you're selling a product that it really is appealing to the market. So yeah, slowly by slowly people are trying to realize, and I think there is like that feeling of um, of excitement when somebody comes and finds you making a shoe. Like, oh, I also want you to make mine, you know. And they go back home with the feeling of, I had my shoe made. I didn't just go to the market and buy it. I had it made by, these quite simple.
Wow. So, guys, we are only remaining with very few minutes before we finish this interview. So, I'm having some few 1 or 2 questions, but as I told you, you guys can ask us questions, and Vanessa will be able to answer you. One more question. As a female refugee leader in this community, what would you tell these young women in this community? Like, what advice would you give them, especially these ones who are maybe feeling like giving up or who have already given up? What advice would you tell them or would you give them?
I think it's I guess it's really hard for any young person to navigate the changes that come with being from your home. That alone in itself is something hard to do from home into a different place that you now must call home, that you must feel like it's home. And there isn't any system whatsoever that tells you how to navigate that. And it's hard, it's understandable. I get it. But when you push past that, and it takes years to kind of accept the situation or accept where you are and start from there to love yourself. And I think for any woman, or any young woman as well that is out there that is hearing this, I would say do not sell yourself short. Do not undermine your abilities. Do not undermine your capabilities. You're able to do amazing things. Whatever I thought you think of doing, it is going to school. It is striving hard to start a business. It is, there are many girls that I see learning how to do tailoring. Can you improve on that skill and make yourself even more relevant? Can you keep that skill up and let it be, find strength in yourself as a human being, regardless of the fact that you have been, I guess, disadvantaged by the fact that you became a refugee. I think it is crippling sometimes, to be a refugee. It is hard, it is disadvantageous. I cannot minimize the struggles, but I also know that if you're resilient, if you grow the muscle of being resilient, and I know very many young people that are very resilient that have made it in life, I think you're able to succeed. There is currently there are so many opportunities to learn a skill.
Let's Help International is a non-profit organization that advocates for the physical, cognitive, and social development of vulnerable children, youth, and families, as well as orphans, refugees, and other people in need mostly. And our areas of intervention are digital inclusion, livelihood, and protection. Let's Help International has achieved a lot so far as digital inclusion is concerned. And I'd like to tell you some of the achievements that we've done so far as Let's Help International. We have been engaged in ongoing efforts and commitments to promote digital inclusion worldwide. Efforts have been done with our sister agencies, chakatu.com and we as Let's Help International, we also had an opportunity, a very wonderful opportunity that was offered to us by the UNHCR. It organized a digital gender inclusion and innovation bootcamp, whereby we learned a lot of things. And we've also engaged and participated in many ICT trainings. And thus far, we have very skilled ICT trainers who can train refugees as well as host community so that they can also be part and parcel of this digital era.
Yeah, my name is Gilbert. On behalf of RTSW, we decided to teach people how to use their smartphones instead of computers because not everyone has access on computers. So we will teach you so many things in using your smartphones, especially in communication, to do online conferences, to update your applications when they are expired. We teach you so many things, how to write documents using your telephones, your smartphones. So tell a friend to subscribe on our channel so that in the future you don't miss the next lesson. Thank you.
Let's Help International is a non-profit organization that advocates for the physical, cognitive, and social development of vulnerable children, youth, and families, as well as orphans, refugees, and other people in need mostly. And our areas of intervention are digital inclusion, livelihood, and protection. Let's Help Let's Help International has achieved a lot so far as digital inclusion is concerned. And I'd like to tell you some of the achievements that we've done so far as Let's Help International. We have been engaged in ongoing efforts and commitments to promote digital inclusion worldwide. Efforts have been done with our sister agencies, Chakatu.com and RTSW-Refugees TV, in order to connect refugees in the host community to online opportunities. We, as Let's Help International, we also had an opportunity, a very wonderful opportunity that was offered to us by the UNHCR. It organized a digital gender inclusion and innovation bootcamp, whereby we learned a lot of things. And so far we've also engaged and participated in many ICT trainings. And thus far, we have very skilled ICT trainers who can train refugees as well as host community so that they can also be part and parcel of this digital era.
What is your recommendation?
My name is Gilbert. On behalf of RTSW, we decided to teach people how to use their smartphones instead of computers because not everyone has access on computers. So we will teach you so many things in using your smartphones, especially in communication, to do online conferences, to update your applications when they are expired. We teach you so many things, how to write documents using your telephones, your smartphones. So tell a friend to subscribe on our channel so that in the future you don't miss the next lesson. Thank you. Yeah, my name is Gilbert. On behalf of RTSW, we decided to teach people how to use their smartphones instead of computers because not everyone has access on computers. So we will teach you so many things in using your smartphones, especially in communication, to do online conferences, to update your applications when they are expired. We teach you so many things how to write documents using your telephones, your smartphones. So tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe on our channel so that in the future you don't miss the next lesson. Thank you.
Welcome once again into the studio. We are welcoming you back again in the studio. So, we've been talking with Vanessa. She's been sharing her story. She's been sharing her journey, how she came here in Uganda, how it was a struggle getting to school, how YIDA started, and authentic African work. She told us a bit about herself. She did give, I think, an advice to fellow young women who are interested or who wants to be leaders in this community. From her own experience, she did try to give them an advice about how they can go about it. Uh, I think if we have comments or questions, we can read them. And after the comments, I will have, I think, one last question to ask Vanessa, and then we finish the show. So if we have questions, I think we can start reading them. Studio. There is Festus Neo who said, "Wonderful guys, this story is really motivational. Keep up the good work." Thank you, dear Festo. We have Kabasinga Julie. She said, "Thank you very much," and I think she has a question for Vanessa. So, Vanessa, what advice can you give to your fellow refugees, especially women? That's the same question, I think.
Yeah, and I think in very short, brief time, I can say the advice I would give is for any person, or even any woman, to start doing something. Start doing something positive. Start doing something in your journey, in your leadership journey that steers you in the right direction, and be consistent. Because consistency is what I guess gets you to whatever it is that you want.
So the first step is to start.
Yes, start.
That's the beginning of everything. So do we have more comments, more questions? We have Biggie Shalom. He said, or they said, let me use that. Thank you, Vanessa, and the whole RTSW team. Vanessa, I think they have a question for you. What is your recommendations to the humanitarian organizations who support refugees?
I think my recommendation is to, I guess my recommendation to humanitarian organization is to invest more in refugee-led organization, and that's because it is more efficient. It is, I guess, more economical, and I believe that the people that are facing the problem have the best solutions to, to their own problem, and it's more sustainable. It's more sustainable for a solution to be owned by the people who are facing the problem in itself. So, in short, please keep investing. If you're investing already in a organization, if you're partnering with them, keep doing that. If you haven't yet, what are you waiting for?
Yeah, and please let us remind them about the motto of this year on the World Refugee Day. It was nothing or nothing about us without us. So we should be involved in the making of the making of I think, the project or the things which are being done here in the community. We have Classic Empire TV. I think they said, wow, this is really wonderful. Please be bringing us such motivational speakers. Oh, Vanessa. I think people are happy about you. People are really enjoying this. Mm, I think we are done with the comments, right? So as you can see, you can install our app at rtsw.live, and then there is that comment which came. Let's see, that is Dayton TV. Dayton TV said, "Wow, this is really amazing. Thank you, Dayton TV." And we have Abba Selafi Empire. Uh, this is what is her relationship with Ariel Ways? They look similar, Banang. So what's the relationship
I don't know
between
who
you
that
and
person
Ariel
is.
Ways? Just to help you, I think Ariel Ways is a singer from Rwanda. Yes, she's a musician. I think from Rwanda, and well, okay. Let's move on to the next question. Thank you for your comment. This is Chakatu Refugee-led Organization Network. That is CRON. Dear Vanessa, thank you very much. Together with RTSW for this interview. Refugees are proud of you. Refugees are proud of you, Vanessa. And then there is Let's Help International that said, "Wow, we are grateful for this. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you for this." Uh, you can check out YIDA on their website, which is there on your screen. I think it is Youth Initiative. Okay, Youth Initiative FDA.org. You can repeat it for me, please.
Youth Initiative,
And YIDA in full is Youth Initiative for Development in Africa. Yeah, that's it. Uh, and that is the website for Authentic African Work. That is AuthenticAfricanWorks.org, right? I said I have a question for you. That question is just in one word. How would you describe yourself? Determined, not resilient, determined. Wow. So thank you guys. Thank you for watching our show. Thank you for being us during this show. As I'm trying to say goodbye to Vanessa, I think she has one last word to tell our followers, our viewers. Is there any last thing you want to tell them?
I think thank you so much for having me. Thank you for capturing my story. It's a very long story and it can't be, I guess, captured in one single setting. Hopefully, next time we'll have, I guess, a better, longer time to have a discussion. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. And as she said, this is not the last time she's here, and hopefully she'll come back, and we shall have a more, I think, a more, a longer, and an even more, I think, descriptive, right? Discussion about her journey. We shall go more in depth about her journey, about her successful story as a refugee. Let me add that as a refugee, because as refugees, we tend to lose hope, we tend to give up. But Vanessa just, I think, showed you that you can be whatever you want, regardless of your status, regardless of, I think, where you come from or how life tried to put you down. I think through all those struggles, Vanessa managed to be who she is today. And I think for that, I can say really well done. Well done. That is really, really a big achievement. So thank you guys for following us. See you again next Saturday in our new or next session. Thank you and have a wonderful weekend.